What's up, guys? And we are back. I hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone have been doing good. We see a lot of things going on, and especially in the state of the economy with these gas prices. And not only the gas prices went up, it seemed like the gas is going faster. I think, hey, they might have watered down the gas, right? They might have watered down his gas. But I know a lot of people been talking about it, and I just want to come and talk about the cost of war, the cost of war. And we don't understand this a lot of times because we're not understanding the economy, right? And the economic effects of war. And it's even to the point where if you're a Bible believer, right? Someone who actually read their Bible, someone who actually believe in Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, who is the Son of God, right? He even talks about a king going to war, and don't he count the cost of war, right? So basically, to make sure we can go to war, we got to make sure our money is long, right? We can't go to war with this person and this person, and we evaluate and we realize their money is longer than ours, or we don't have enough money to go to war with them because we got to send our troops out. We got to cover the cost of things. We got to cover the cost of the jets, the gas of that. We got to make sure that the weapons is stocked up. We got to make sure we got enough boots on the ground. We got to make sure we got enough aerial or planes, the war planes, right? I ain't no Army or Navy expert, so don't come for me, all right? But we got to make sure these things. So this is why we are seeing, this effect of gas prices soaring, right? And I just wanted to come and talk about this because we have to understand. And as a business owner, I think this is a great opportunity if you own a business. This is a great opportunity if you understand how to utilize tools like AI, right? AI is just a tool, artificial intelligence. It's a tool. We're not going to go into the deep side of it when people and the Dr. Evil things, right? We're talking about using it as a business owner, as a tool to help speed up some processes and to help take away or alleviate some pain points, right? Some things that you might struggle with, some things that, for example, let's just say you have an assistant. Let's say if your business is open 9 to 5, right? And then from five all the way to 9 or to the next day, right? There's nothing, right? You might have a website. But what if you have an AI assistant that's on call for 24 hours? So this is the perfect time for us to really understand and learn how to utilize AI for the things that we need it for, right? Sorry, let me put my phone on vibrate. Yep. So we're just going to talk about this, right? We got to understand these things. So we got to understand the economy. We got to understand the price of war, or like I said, the cost of war, right? We got to understand why gas is going up, and we got to learn how to pivot. Right? The thing is, you can't be like everybody else. We get stuck on a problem, and what's the solution to it? How do we stop the bleeding? Let's not get caught on the problem. What solutions that we have or resources that we have that we won't get caught up in the problem, get caught up in blaming this person, blaming that person, right? Right. And we know, hey, shout out to our great president. He started this stuff, right? So shout out to you, Mr. President. I'll put the blame on you before. but we know this stuff, but we have to get to the point to understand, right? Because you can't blame the president, the administration, all these things, because you got to think about yourself first. We had all these presidents, and some of us who grew up like me, I grew up in the hood, I grew up in a struggle, and then I didn't see no, like, where it like some type of effect on me, like where I something happened like that it affected like my current circumstances of growing up in the hood, struggling, being raised on food stamps, right? Right. So we got to get to a point where there's spiritual maturity to say, hey, we have opportunity to do something about it, right? We got to stop saying, hey, because I'm black, because I'm this, because I come from the hood, I'm from poverty community. You have to do something about it to change your situation. And the first thing I'm going to tell you as a believer, you need to give your life to Yeshua. That's straight up. Jesus, whatever you want to say, right? Yeshua, Jesus the Christ. You need to change your life, right? You need to come on this side of the light. And because it says when we accept Christ as our Savior, we have the mind of Christ. And then it says also in the Bible, he became poor so we could become rich. And we can take it two ways. You know, some people on the left might argue with you, well, that's spiritual. Some people on the right might say, nah, he's literally talking about becoming rich monetary. So we could what? Advance the kingdom. So we can invest in the kingdom. So we can invest in our community as believers, right? Because the Bible said the earth and the fullness is his, right? So we have to understand these things. So what do we do? The first thing me and my dad was talking about, like prayer. My dad helped people fix credit. And he said the first strategy I give to people is pray. Pray over your credit, pray over your situation, pray over your circumstances. And that's something I had to be reminded. A deacon from my church called me to remind me. He said, hey, elder, right? Don't forget. You remember that time how you used to pray about everything? Got to get back to that. So it's just crazy. My dad called and we talked about that too. And he brought that up when he talked about helping people fix their credit. So that's the first thing, right? Prayer. But we know faith without works is dead. So we got to action steps, right? What steps are we taking during this time to stop the bleeding for us? You know, if you're a business owner, you might be feeling it. If you work a job, you could be feeling it, right? The gas, right? I feel like you put $25 in your tank, you go from like Walmart is literally probably less than a mile from us. I feel like you go from where I live out to Walmart, it's like the gas go out. So something's with the gas. And somebody from the streets, like a lot of y'all know I grew up in the streets. I'm from the streets. I lived that life. Something they water up the work, right? The gas, right? That's what I'm talking about, y'all. The gas. They water it down or something. It ain't that gas like it used to be. It ain't pure, right? Something it got to be watered down. And why, right? We're going to get to the point. Why is it? It probably is watered down. It probably is that grade B gas, right? It's not that premium that we used to having, right? Put in your tank $20, it might last you a week. Now it's because it is watered down. And why? Because again, the cost of war, right? So gas prices have surged due to the rise in crude, watch this, oil costs driven by geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, right? Particular with the conflict involving Iran. And we know what just the new leader of Iran, I don't know his name, but we know what he just said, right? I'm going to raise the barrels of the prices on these barrels. And guess what? If they raise the prices on the barrels, right? Let's just talk about the country in the United States. Who's going to feel that? The people, because they're going to have to raise the prices of the gas, right? And we're going to feel that. We're going to feel that. Let's be honest, we're going to feel it. But that's why we have to have a solution, especially if you're a business owner, brand, whatever you do. If you're an independent person who make their own money somehow, we have to figure out a strategy. How can we elevate during this time? And that's why it's important that emergency savings and things like that I talked to y'all about. It's important to have that as well. But the Bible also tells us, right? I'm a Bible believer again. It tells us in the Ecclesiastics to have 7 streams of income in year 8 for times of emergency. So when things like this happen, it don't affect your pocket or your bottom line. And of course, we're not going to say, oh, just because, some people think, oh, I got this still ain't nothing. No, let's think like common folks. It is something because, again, it's hitting people, right? It's hitting people. I'm being hit by it, right? I'm like, yeah, I think this was like last week or something, a week before when I went to the gas station, and literally like the night before it was like two something like that. Then I get there, I'm looking at it says 346. I said, whoa, that's a jump. As someone who do stock, right? I'm not like no stock guru. I don't want nobody, but I understand like the downtrend, the upside, right? And I'm looking at it like, dang, that's how I'm thinking, like from the stock perspective, like, dang, this thing just went up that quick. But again, right here, This article I was reading, it talks about because of the conflict in the Middle East. And then also too, it was threatening ships was in raised fears of supply distribution combined with seasonal demand and the switch to more expensive summer fuel blends. This has driven up the prices. So again, we're going back to the cost of war. The cost of war. So what are you doing, right? Because what if we see that whatever the next week, the week after that, the next month, the next 2 months, we see how long the Russian and the Ukrainian war lasted and it's still going on, right? We don't know how long this is going to last. We don't know what impact is going to be made. And the last time I checked, they like, hey, if y'all want to keep playing these games, we're going to keep putting our foot on your necks from this way. And then also too, we'll go to certain places and hit that y'all some of y'all infrastructure. So that now that we've seen this, and I'm not trying to do this as a fear mongering, but it's to understand, right? It's to growth. And we have to learn how to grow and develop. Especially some of us again who's entrepreneurs, business owners. And I'm still a babe. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still a babe understanding entrepreneurship, but because I love to read, I love to study, I love to understand these things, understanding, the economy and things like that. And not saying I'm like some total guru, but I tell people just read a little bit of something every day. Read a little bit of something. Read an article, right? Right. I like to read. I wake up and read my word. Right. I'm reading like 2, 3 different books right now, and then I like to read little articles like this that I'm reading to y'all. Read a little something. Learn a little bit of something about the economy. Learn when stuff is when things is look like they could be shifting, so you could what prepare yourself. Yeah, I heard of the 5 P's. What proper planning prevent poor performance. Proper planning prevents poor performance, y'all. That thing be like a tongue twister. So hey, don't be listening. Listen, I'll come get you. Now I'm messing with y'all, but if we have proper planning for these things, we could prevent a lot of things that's going on. Of course, and just think of it personally, right? For you individually, for your family, things like that, right? Think of it from that standpoint to prevent some of the things that might hit. You might have to tell your family, hey, we can't go out and get Pizza Hut once a week. Hey, we can't go to this place for now. Let's focus on putting a little extra in our savings. Maybe put a little, if you got a stash with cash, put a little extra there, right? Just in case. You might want to, if the gas drop, put some gas in your freezer. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. That thing go back to $2. I'm gonna go get some gas and put it in my freezer and hold on to that. And if you run out of gas, y'all ever read what Joseph did in Egypt? I'm gonna do that to y'all. Play with me if you want. I will have gas stacked up and I will be selling it out Ziploc bags. No, I'm messing with y'all. But on a serious note, right? We should be paying attention to these things. That's why I tell people we can't get, and I know people probably get tired. You can't get you got to learn how to multitask, right? You can't get so caught up in, oh, okay, I got bills. We know that. But how do you have awareness of other things that's going on right now and the economy to prepare for stuff, right? Because we see ever since y'all know the COVID situation, anything, right? And to me, I feel like the world changed after that, right? We seen a lot of people, the online courses, the online space, right? That developed during that time. So we seen a lot of things that change. And now, we seen a development of AI, right? So we really have a chance to start. We have to start keeping up. And this message is for everyone, but I'm just saying the Black community, don't go out, y'all. We can't go out like Blockbuster, man. When they had a chance to partner with Netflix, right? Netflix showed them respect. They like, hey, y'all are y'all. Yeah. So Netflix, Netflix tried to partner with Blockbuster because they was like, hey, y'all like the Godfathers thing. We want to partner with y'all because we're paving the way for the future. And this wouldn't happen if it wasn't for y'all starting this trend. And we just gonna partner with y'all so we can elevate, right? So I'm just saying to the black community, we gotta learn to be willing. The Bible tells us, talk to us about renewing your mind. You gotta learn how to renew your mind. You got to learn how to pivot. We got to learn how to elevate to what we saying. The Bible tells you can't put old wineskin with new wineskin, right? You can't put the old mindset with the new. This ain't 1999 no more. This is 2026. So we have to understand these things. We got to learn to come together, and we got to get with people who's the expert in their fields that can help us elevate. Another thing, the whole point of when you own a business is just truly own a system. And we have to understand that, right? Owning a business, some people don't realize they own a job. The job won't function without them. But when you own a business, you own a system. And we have to learn how to be willing to delegate tasks. We got to learn how to stop micromanaging. You can run a successful business. I know people, I see people who run successful businesses without micromanaging because they have a system in place, right? Usually, some of y'all who maybe work at Walmart, some of y'all who work at maybe General Mills, I don't know, wherever you work, there's usually a system in place, right? You might have whatever, the manager, the senior project manager, right? All these systems is in place for a reason. Why? So the owner of the company don't have to worry about going down and dealing with these. He has people in places. They got systems in places. So those things could be dealt with, right? It got to be a very drastic thing to really get the owner involved because he got to make sure. And we don't understand. A lot of people don't understand like why certain people in certain positions might get paid a little more than, hey, if I'm just an employee and I got to make sure the line runs smooth. Think about it. If you're a manager, sometimes, and we know, like some managers, they work at the same time, but they might get paid more than you because they understand not only right as a manager, right, I got to be able to learn how to operate everything, but just in case an emergency happens, right, somebody might get sick. Okay, I might have to jump in on the line, but also I got to be able to what? I got to have some type of emotional intelligence to handle what the employees or the people that's under me. So there's levels to certain things, and we have to learn how to delegate those tasks. You can't micromanage. Just like dealing, like some people, like some of the clients I had to remind them, like, hey, and very respectful, hey, this is not going to work right here. Let's do it this way because the numbers, right? We can see the numbers. The numbers is trending this way. What's going on in the market? This style is no more. Nobody's doing it that way no more. So let's do it this way and let's see if it works. And we could keep up with the KPI and all of that. And I just got to remind them in a way like, hey, this is what you hire us for. You hire us as the experts in our field so we could get you better results, or it might be more consistent in this area. And sometimes you have to remind people that I am not your employee. You actually hire me to be the expert in this area, because we don't go to the doctors. I don't know. So I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm quite sure we don't go to the doctors and say, hey, doctor say, hey, look like you need a heart surgery. Your heart kind of bad. Okay, this is what we're going to do. You ain't going to tell the doctor, no, doctor, this is what works for me. I'm telling you. No, you're going to let him do what he do, because if you try to do your way, you might not make it. So this is the simple things we got to learn to delegate tasks so everything can run smoother. And when we learn to do that, to let go, that as if you're the CEO of that company, that give you more time to strategize. That might give you more time to think. That might give you more time to find a way to increase your revenue. Maybe bring a new offer. Come up with a new offer, come up with a new product. You're a chef, maybe come up with something, a new recipe, right? That you could put to the marketplace. You might be like, Dad, you know what? The economy kind of hot. What can What kind of meal can I make that's affordable, but that still could fill people up? So it gives you time to think more, to strategize and be strategic during this time, so that way you don't have to worry about going out of business. But if you could pivot fast and you're able to scale, and you can outdo the people here that you see, like, okay, I see what they're doing. Okay, maybe if I do it this way, and then on top of that, it's affordable to the people, and it's going to be delicious. It's going to be quality, but also it's something that they can enjoy during the economy where it's kind of tough on their pockets. And because it's going to be delicious, the people's going to be satisfied, right? So you always want to make sure you offer something where people satisfy. So learning how to delegate tasks as business owners is going to help you, so you won't have to work in your business. I see people that, man, I'm tired. Boom, man, I quit my job and I'm working more than ever, because you're not learning how to delegate tasks. And when you learn how to do that, it helps you scale, right? You that's the whole point. You want to create a system where you can scale. And when you scale, you could bring in more people, right? The more money, the more revenue that business is bringing in, the more people you could hire. And you could also, too, vet people out, hire good quality people. Because I'm telling you, when you hire good quality people and you show them what needs to be done, and you treat them well, I guarantee you they'll run that business probably better than you, to be honest, right? They're probably like, hey, I got this, and that done. But if you hire people of low quality, right? They and let's say you pay them the premium of a good quality employee, but you're gonna see you got to micromanage those people. So also, too, vet people out, vet people out. I'd rather take people that's hungry than people that has the talent but don't want to do the work. I'd rather train the hungry people, because when I train them, they're going to get stuff done. And a lot of times it's going to be no question asked. A lot of times they hungry, they have a desire. They're going to be like, hey, we also figured what this out to do, which makes it faster, so we won't have to do it this way no more. Oh wow, that's amazing. And that's another thing too. Always listen, business owners. Listen to your employees, right? Listen to your partners sometimes, if it's something that could really scale and make it, because they're usually on the floor, they're on the line, they seeing everything in real time. So listen and A/B test things. Okay, let's see if this works. Oh yeah, I hear what you're saying. Let's see if this works. Okay. So how all this he talking about? Sound like he blame it lines up with the course of war, because you got to be willing to pivot. You got to be willing to pivot, because the way it's looking is looking like one country is not backing down. And it's looking like the country who's usually the big dog is looking like, oh, these folks ain't backing down. And you got shout out to our troops on the ground, but they like, hey, somebody needs to talk to this guy, because these dudes ain't backing down and they playing. They so they got some money somewhere. And not only the money, they control what? The oil. That's important, y'all. They control the gas. They control the petroleum, whatever you want to call it. They control it. So they like, hey, listen. Also, too, it's the ships. They like, hey, if these ships want to come over here, right, come pass, we'll let them pass, but it's going to cost y'all. It's going to cost y'all. So again, it goes back, right? Let me see if I can find it too. Let me see if I can find it. Which scripture that Jesus talked about a king going to war and counting the cost? Jesus discusses a king preparing for war, and so it's Luke. Let's go to it. Luke. It says Luke 14:25. All right, let's see. Let's go to it, y'all. Y'all know me. I gotta see. This is why I said we have to read our word, because there's practical things in here that we can apply in the word, and you can apply in real time. You can apply in your life. You can apply it in business. So there's practical things in here. All right, let me go to the amplified version. I'm saying I gotta keep it amplified for a sec for this. All right, so let's see. Luke 14. All right, here we go. It says right here, for which one of you, when he wants to build a watchtower for his gods and does not sit down first and calculate the cost to see if he has enough to finish it? Okay. Otherwise, when he has laid the foundation, unable unable to finish the building, all who see it will begin to ridicule him. All right. This is verse 30, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Verse 31. All right. Or what king, when he sets out to meet another king in battle, will not first sit down and consider whether he is strong enough with 10,000 men to counter the one, right, who is coming against him with 20,000? Or else, if he feels he is not powerful enough, while the other king is still a far distance away, he sends an envoy and asks for terms what of peace. So then none of you can be my disciple who does not carefully consider the cost and then, for my sake, give up all his possessions. Right? So this is very important. So this is a practical advice that Yeshua talked about, and he's talking about being his disciples, but we could put things in context to this time, right? What are we looking at? What are we building? What is the cost that it's going to take? Right? It talks about land development or construction here, right? Building a building, having what the finances, the funding. It's the same thing. What are we going to do in this time? How do we pivot? How do we pivot? So understanding artificial intelligence is very important to help you scale. You know, most people still using ChatGPT as, hey, make this for me. Or, hey, what do you think about this? And you could use AI much more than that. It could actually, like right now, when I get off of here, shout out to Go High Level. I will put the link also in the show note description. If you want to try High Level, Go High Level for 14 days for free. I will put my affiliate link in there because they created something new where literally all I got to do is put a prompt in and it's going to batch my content. And when I get off of here, I'm going to go test it out. Why? Because not only will that save me time, but for the clients I work with, that saved me time to work on their stuff. And now I get to literally just manage everything right there. So when you understand these things are tools and it's not no evil devices, right? It's all how you use it. It's the same way with people with a gun, right? It's the person with the gun. Right? A gun is not going to pick up itself and go shoot someone. It's the person who's behind the gun, the person intentions. If they going out picking up the gun and they want to be out there robbing folks, it's not the gun, it's the person. Right? Some people use it as protection. Some people use it to go hunting. It's the same way with your credit card. The credit card didn't say, hey, go out there and go to Louis Gucci and all this stuff and go shop and ball out. You did that when you realized what? Hey, I got this credit card with all this money up. Now I could keep up with everybody else. I could keep up with the trend. So we have to understand these things, right? So how do you shift? You have to change your mindset. You have to be willing to learn. You got to be willing to unlearn some stuff, to relearn some stuff, and you got to be willing to learn some new things, right? That's why the Bible in Romans 12 tells you have to renew your mind. And when we talk about repenting, and the Amplified Bible tells you the definition, the first thing is changing your mind. Changing your mind, changing the way you think. Because why? You're a new creation in Christ. So when you understand these things, you get to empty you out, right? And this works in your business. I'm learning this because this is how I'm developing and growing in my business and the offers or the services I'm adding to my business is because I empty me and I'm willing to relearn some things. I'm willing to learn some things, right? I take courses. I invest in myself. I invest in our business because we have to shift. We can't just keep doing things the same if things are shifting, literally. So a lot of people, especially if you're in a videographer space, photographer space, learn how to shift. It's not taking away from your skills, because I know a lot of people be like, "Oh, it's not taking away from your skills. It's good to shift. It's good to multitask. So if something do happen, what if another pandemic happened? And what if you could shift? What if you could say, hey, someone like, hey, you can't go out, right? The world's locked down. And someone like, hey, I need a shot of me or a headshot of me. So because I got this speaking event to do on a Zoom call. And what if they hit you up and you're like, well, we can't go out. Guess what? You could get a picture of them. Hey, send me the best picture of you. What if there's a young lady who's a photographer, and now she do AI photo shoots. She just tell her clients, send the best pictures of you, and then she take it and ask them, hey, where's 3 places you would like to go? And this is not no just like these photos is looking like the people, like they in the places, like they in Miami, like they in Puerto Rico, like they in DR. Like it looked like they really there with people around them on the beach and things like that. And guess what? She charged like it could be anywhere from 500 and up. Why? Because she understood there's people that's introverts that's not comfortable with taking pictures, but maybe they have a business, maybe they have some stuff they have to do. They could just, hey, if I could send it to you, and guess what? That's a service, and that's convenient to somebody else. So that means it's valuable to the person who actually booked her service for that. Oh wow, I appreciate that because I don't like taking pictures, girl. And if they feel value in it, it's not changing because she still do photo shoots, but it's able to pivot with what's and putting everything in context in the time we in. And why not do something if it's going to save you time, right? What if it saved you time where you could do something like this? You could talk on camera more. If some people want to do that, but they just don't have time because they out constantly trying to get book shoots. Book shoot. Oh man, I need to shoot. And a lot of times, a lot of videographers out there, they in the clubs, they with celebrities, they doing all this stuff for free because they let people. Yeah, I got you an exposure. Or you could come to the establishment, yeah, hook me up with a video or something. You got and do your thing, do whatever you do. You take photos of people, you charge them. That's between you, yeah. You as long as you give me what I want, you good. So we gotta learn to shift. You gotta learn how to establish yourself. And this is a side note to my videographers and stuff. Establish yourself as a business or a brand so people can take you more serious and know what you do, how you serve people, how you help people. And also, again, we talked about systems and what systems you have in place to help someone that might need your services, to help someone, right? So this is why these things are important. This is why I want to talk to you about the cost of war, understanding what's going on in the economy, how it do affect us as the everyday people, but how do we shift from it? How do we grow as business owners, brands, entrepreneur, solopreneurs, whatever you do, if you out there somehow doing some type of thing on the side hustle, I don't care, whatever people want to call it, like I don't get caught up on this, that, whatever you're doing to make your money independently, how do you pivot and shift with what's going on in the economy, what's going on with the price, what's going on with the war, how do you shift these things, right? How do you bring services? How do you utilize AI? Again, if you're a photographer and videographer, how do I learn how to create AI content? Right? I know some of y'all been seeing ads, AI ads, right, from businesses, right? Big brands using AI now, Adidas and things like that, right? So how do you pivot to say, let me learn? How do I develop a skill? What course can I take? There's free courses out there to learn this stuff, right? I got a book. It's called The Kingdom Code. $19.99. I'll put that in the show note description too, that you can utilize and to understand, right? Be able to take time and read. It's an ebook. I know some people, man, another ebook. It's the mindset. The first thing, some of y'all might need a mindset coach because we make excuses for our laziness. We make excuses for the things that we don't want to learn. We make excuses on why we procrastinate instead of saying, you know what, let me take my time because I appreciate this person taking their time to create an ebook for me so I can read and understand how to use AI, so I can understand what AI is. And then Then inside of the book, he shows different tools that you could potentially use little to no cost. So that way I don't go around and next thing you know, I'm paying for this, and that. And then you can learn from someone who did that, right? And I'm still learning. But I like to teach what I learn. And if I could be able to help someone else out while I'm learning and as I'm developing, my goal is always to bring all of us, we all got to be here. So that's why I made that book, The Kingdom Code. So you can understand what AI is, understand the difference between different types of AI, so you can learn the difference in that. Learn again to how to utilize it right, the right way for your business. Learn how to create content with it. Learn how tools to help you. For example, you got an AI bot, right? An AI bot that can literally answer your phone calls. You don't want to learn that? It will answer your phone calls. It will sound like a real person, and it will book you some appointments. And then also too, if the person be like, hey, can I speak to a human? It will transfer you over to a person. But the whole point of that again is to alleviate that on your part, and then all you gotta do is basically close the deal. Whatever, depending on what you do. Or if you're a plumber, now AI booked a what? An appointment, and all you gotta do is go out and service the work. So you made more money while you sleeping, and you woke up to book appointments on your calendar, and all you gotta do is service the work. Of course, send an invoice, but you can automate that too. You can have the AI send the invoice after that. It can email the person the invoice. Come on. So you don't want to learn these things? You don't want to learn these things? We have to learn to pivot, y'all. We're not using this as some like, again, it goes back to the point I was making. It depends on the person who uses it. If you ain't out there trying to use it to do some crazy stuff and make cancer and make the whole world get cancer, some crazy stuff, right? Then don't. If you literally using it as a tool for business, you using it legal, ethical, and morally, you shouldn't have a conviction of, oh my gosh, AI is evil. It's a demon. No, you're using it to utilize it as a tool for your business. You're using it legal, ethical, and moral. Because at the end of the day, everybody know I am not ashamed of the God I serve. I am not ashamed of the gospel. I am not ashamed of Yeshua HaMashiach, my Lord and Savior, Jesus the Christ. I am not ashamed of these things, right? I'm not ashamed of who I am in Christ. I'm not ashamed of these things, but we're talking about the practical side. We're talking about being entrepreneurs, right? God give us the power to get wealth, right? To create wealth, right? He wants us to do that's why he made us, right? So we gotta be willing to a point where, hey, let's learn these things and let's use it what? Legal, ethical, moral in a practical way. We're not going to use it as whatever, the Dr. Evil person, right? I'm not throwing people names out there. But we're not going to use it as them. We're going to use it as believers in Christ. We're going to use it legally, ethical, moral, right? Because it tells us to follow the ways of the rules of man, right? Which we want to make sure everything we're doing is following rules of whatever business laws and things like that, right? So we want to make sure that, of course, we're going to do it that way. But we in a creative era, so why not create? Why not use these things to create and do cool things? I'll be having fun with these tools as I learn. I'll be making funny stuff. I'll be making it look like I'm with celebrities. I'll be doing fun stuff. And I'll just be posting it. Why? Because I'm at the same time I'm having fun in it and I'm learning a new skill. And these things that I'm learning at the same time, I'm kind of marketing my skills because now people have been reaching out to me. Hey, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Can you make a digital flyer? Hey, can you make me do this? And what? People's willing to pay you for this. Right? So I'm trying to help everyone learn that we in a creative era and we in an era where you can actually own your business, where you have tools, where you can systematize your business, where you don't have to micromanage as much. And you can what buy, as the Bible said, buy your time back, get your freedom back, and still give good quality service to the people. right? And I think learning these tools is good for everybody. If you're a chef and you book private events, why not have your AI assistant, right? You got a AI that could be your assistant. Again, it could book, it could keep up with your calendars. It could let you know, hey, you booked on this day, but you got this day open. So it's a chance to help everybody. So hey, I hope this excites y'all. I hope y'all learned something from this. My goal is to always give value, and I hope this could help you elevate and think bigger. And again, the Kingdom Code. I'm gonna drop the link in the show note. Go get it. It's $19.99. And what I tell people, read the book like a course. So when you read in the book, go buy you a notebook, right? Go buy you a notebook, take some notes, and then apply the things you're learning. Go into, open up, I don't know, whatever you like to use. There's so many different tools. ChatGPT, you can use that. There's a free version. Gemini, it's a free version. If you want to create something, look up Gronk. Gronk is cool to create, to make your AI twin, right? I'm giving y'all some game. Also, Higgsfield, it's another one I like to use. It's cool, right? That's another good one. And they got a free trial as well if you want to get a free trial so you could just test it out. So these things. And then another thing, you got to learn how to prompt. That's why I say you should get my book. So don't think of it, oh, it's just an ebook. But if you don't know how to prompt, that's the main thing to AI. If you don't know how to prompt, you're just going to be sounding like this. Hey, make this image look like me. No, you got to be able to prompt. Hey, make this image look like me. African American male, 38 years old, 6'3", average weight, right? Tall, obviously. Also, I want a cinematic feel. The background, I want it to be like an office. Also, too, put a Mac. I mean, put a laptop here, maybe an Apple laptop in front of me. So you got to be able to. So you can literally prompt it. Y'all forgot AI is very intelligent. Obviously, it's artificial intelligent. So you could prompt it on how the background look, how you want the scene to look. Maybe make it look like, hey, make it look like African American male, Ray Hardy, right? Start telling us your name so it can start learning you, right? Ray Hardy, African American male, 6'3". Make it look like I'm at Harvard, inside the Harvard, the Harvard Business School, giving a speech to college students. And guess what? It's going to build that background for you, and it's going to build it's going to look like Harvard, and it's going to look like students looking at you talking. So these are the things that you could do. Create content faster for yourself as well. Or obviously, if you know a content creator that could use these tools to create content for you, and all you got to do is post them, you can reach out to somebody. Oh, okay, my bad, y'all. But hey, this is what we do. So again, the book Kingdom Code, you might want to get it. I'm gonna put my Go High Level link in the description as well. You might want to check that out. And then probably some more cool things might be in the description just so you can check out. Also, too, if you might need some business funding, I'm doing revenue-based funding right now. I'll put the link to that as well so you can check that out if you might need some funding for your business. So